Come on. Okay, so we are live. I'm not sure what happened to our intro.
Wow.
Yeah. So no intro today. Welcome to the Fold Mysteries, where we seek to discover everything that lies between the folds of reality. I don't know what happened there. Something happened in the process of setting up this live. It got really wonky, really weird, completely changed the link, which Abe, you struggled to get into the studio because of it.
Yeah, thanks for sending that to me.
Yes, so we are live and no intro today. So welcome, Sherry. Welcome, Bigfoot Recon. And let me see. Yes, everybody's saying hello. So welcome, everyone, to the non-intro, the Fold Mysteries episode. So, Abe, tell us what's going on with you.
Oh my gosh. So I've been in the field every weekend since like the end of April. It seems like one thing after another in this one area. Last weekend it was going out and switching a SD card or a memory card that wasn't formatted to a formatted one. Well, we go out there, me and my son, this past Father's Day, and I call it the TP area because there's like 3 of them in this area. So we go out there to the camera. We got a tree cam. We got a sebum collection plate facing this TP structure that's kind of been it's lost its, how do I say this? It's structural over the wintertime. So just been kind of keeping an eye on that. Lo and behold, a bear got to my tree camera. And the weekend before, me and another team member were walking back from that area to our vehicles, and we had a bear come out on the trail as we were leaving the area. First time this happened in 26 years that I had a bear encounter in doing field research and investigations. So bear got to the tree camera, and why they do that is because some of these tree cameras have petroleum in it, and the bear can sense that petroleum, and they'll go after these tree cameras. It's my second tree camera. I have one tree camera last year that was attacked by a bear. Now this one, so I got to bring another one out there and get that set up. And of course, we're baiting this area. We're leaving gifts, baiting, whatever you want to call it, apples to sweets and things like that. So of course, it's going to happen sooner or later, and it happened. So got to get back out there. Other than that, things are moving right ahead with the Minnesota Bigfoot Conference. However, it's all good. It's all good. It's just I remember myself saying I'm a lot like you last week when we had Chad on, right? Chad, yeah.
Huh?
What? Didn't we have Chad on? No, it wasn't Chad.
No, it was.
Oh my gosh! Excuse me.
Matt Langford.
Matt Langford. Where did Chad come from? Sorry, Matt. Oh, gosh. I was so confused too. At any rate, and what that is because we're doing. Take a breath. Yeah, I'll give myself a chat. I apologize, Matt. So we're putting the very first ever Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team Kids Bigfoot Weekend Camp together. And right now, we're tentatively looking at the dates for the 21st to the 23rd. Might have to change that because we want to do it before school starts, and I'm already might be getting booked in August, and the only free dates I might have is the 15th. Yeah. Oh, I know. Or and the reason being is because we're teaming up with the Reamer Motel and Campground, and I was working with the husband, but the wife, Erica, awesome, great people. That's when they were supposed to do her dad's celebration of life and everything at Fort Snelling and stuff like that. So she, God bless her heart, was kind enough to look into seeing how hard it is to reschedule with Fort Snelling. I'm like, So I'm waiting to hear back from her, but
Interesting.
might have to change the dates on that. However, I have been getting donations. I mean, I got tents. I got 2 8-person tents, 2 6-person tents, 3 or 4 4-person tents donated. Sleeping bags have been donated. Air mattresses have been donated. So, I mean, people are rising to the occasion of wanting to help out. And why we're asking for donations is for families who may be able to afford to come to the weekend camp, but don't have any camping gear. And hopefully, we can help and offset the cost and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It's just been going. Many balls are rolling and getting back out in the field this weekend, if not next weekend for sure. So that's what's going on with Abe. How about you?
Well, things are finally coming together with my conference, August 15th and 16th. If you guys look behind me here, Irons, Michigan Bigfoot Conference, August 15th and 16th. There's the QR code. Tickets are still on sale for through this QR code. So did a little bit of adjustment. There you go. Get your tickets before they're gone, Abe.
Come on, get those phones out.
I'm just kidding. But I'm really excited for it, and we are looking for sponsors for speakers. If anybody wants to sponsor a speaker, you will get your notoriety, your due notoriety from that. So reach out to me, thefoldmysteries@gmail.com, or on Facebook, The Fold Mysteries, or on my page, Gwendolyn Guthrie, and just message me. So get a hold of me if you want to sponsor a speaker, and or if you want to sponsor the event in any way, just let me know. Got all the reservations done for my speakers as far as their accommodations. So yeah, everything's looking good. Everything's in the works. I'm really, really, really excited.
Yes. You feel like you can breathe yet? Like seriously?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay.
No, not yet, because we're still working on the rest of the merch, getting that together. And then also the Fold Mysteries Conference is going to be in the parade for the flea market this weekend, so that it's going to be advertised through the parade. Yeah, so we got somebody that's doing that for us.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then it's also going to be in the local newspaper, so it's pretty exciting.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
So yeah.
Woo, it's coming together. So get your tickets. I want to make this just a really fun event for the family, and individuals, adults as well. So it's going to be a good time. But we have
who do we have?
We have an amazing guest for this evening.
Legendary.
Yes, I really wish that they could have gotten to see the intro, because I'm kind of proud of it, especially your little cut scene. So it's pretty great. I love it. But welcome to the stage, Steve Kulls.
Yay!
Hello, everybody.
Now that we the applause sound effect.
There we go. Yeah.
You hear the crowd, they're all they're hissing me.
Your mic outshines all of ours. You sound amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
So welcome to the Fold Mysteries. I'll tell
thanks for
everyone,
having me.
as if everyone doesn't know you already. I'll tell everyone about you. So Steve Kulls began his professional career in private investigation and loss prevention, where he honed his investigation skills and evidence analysis. His background in investigations in both the civil, family, and criminal fields provided him with a solid foundation for his later work in cryptozoology, allowing him to apply rigorous investigative techniques to study elusive creatures like Bigfoot. Kulls gained widespread recognition when he launched the Squatch Detective website. Thank you for that. Just make it apparent when I mess up, I guess. Squatch Detective website and podcast dedicated to exploring the mysteries surrounding Bigfoot and other cryptids. Through his platform, Kulls has interviewed numerous witnesses, researchers, and experts in the field, contributing valuable insights and perspectives to the ongoing discourse on cryptozoology. One of Kulls' most notable contributions to the field is his emphasis on evidence-based research and skepticism. He advocates for critical thinking and thorough investigation, seeking to separate fact from fiction in cryptozoology. Kulls has participated in expeditions to known Bigfoot hotspots, employing advanced technology investigative techniques to gather data and analyze potential evidence. Over the years, Kulls has garnered respect within the cryptozoological community for his dedication, integrity, and commitment to scientific inquiry. While he is a firm believer in the evidence of Bigfoot, he approaches his work with a healthy skepticism, always striving to uphold the highest standards of research and evidence evaluation. Steve has authored 8 books, and has appeared on History, Nat Geo, Discovery Networks, and Fox News, with the latest being on the Bigfoot panel of the History program. The proof is out there. That is
weird.
Or is it me? Or you?
Had to have a little fun there.
I couldn't hardly get through my bio.
Welcome to the show, bro.
Once I got her to break, it was like I had to keep doing it.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh,
awesome.
Love it.
That was the hardest bio I ever had to read, and not because I got tongue twisted. Only because I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh. Well, it certainly is a pleasure to have you on, man. Absolutely. It's been a long time since we had face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. And I finally get to meet you. So that's really cool. Eventually we'll meet in person, but for now, this is going to have to be good enough.
Well, I know, I would have been at the Minnesota Bigfoot Conference this year, but unfortunately I had a prior engagement. So I'm going to make it for 2027.
Okay, and with that being said, he is the first confirmed guest for 2027.
Woo!
That is awesome.
Yes.
Very early announcement.
Yes.
But nobody's going to forget. They're going to buy their tickets for this year, so they can go see Steve Kulls.
Double up. Absolutely. Get those 3-day VIP passes now. Act now.
And if you act now, we'll give you a free whoopee cushion.
Now you need to have 3.
Thank you, Sherry, for putting that idea in my head.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
So you have done just a ton of stuff. Like I was talking to you earlier about, not just in your research world, but in your personal world as well. And all of it has been just a really amazing lead-in for what you do now in the cryptozoology research. And I want to expand not just Bigfoot research, because you've done research in many different creatures. So talk to me a little bit about that. You mentioned the Loch Ness earlier. Tell me a little bit about that.
I back in 2011. Oh God, that's so long ago now. Nat Geo asked me to go to Loch Ness and had an expedition up, and I did that. We filmed The Truth Behind the Loch Ness Monster. And it was an awesome time. I got put up in a castle. We had our own personal chef in the castle. So every morning he'd be there to make us all kinds of breakfast. They'd pack a lunch for us. We went out, and usually we'd be out for 8 or 9 hours a day. And we'd come back to this, 3-course dinner, appetizer, dinner, and dessert. And then we could raid the liquor cabinet.
I bet you see Nessie then.
I saw a whole gaggle of Nessie.
Oh my God.
They were shooting pool with us one night.
Oh my God. Oh, in the castle, amazing. I'm sure the castle had a billiard room too.
and it was an awesome time. It was great to meet people of a couple of different cultures because the English and the Scots are really two different peoples. Some would say they even speak two different languages.
Right.
Because truthfully, we speak the same language. We all speak English, but
right.
Sometimes you go to Scotland and you're like, they'll say something, you're like, huh? What?
Yeah.
Well, and it was that way when I got into London as well for a little bit. I had to adjust because there's a lot of things off the shoot when you walk into a new country like that you don't know. Like they don't say thank you. They say cheers.
Ah, interesting.
And that was like one of the things. And I'm, the first thing they wanted me to do is, well, we want you to drive because it'd be kind of cool to have video of you driving. So hop in, you're driving. And but you can drive standard. Well, yes, thank goodness I was raised on a standard. The only problem is that in good old America you're using your right hand to shift, in UK you're using your left, right? And you're driving on it's opposite to us, and you get in the car with on our it's completely backwards. So, you can tell if you watch the documentary, you see when I'm first there, I'm driving with two hands on the steering wheel like this, right?
Who's shifting for you?
Right. Oh, no, I was shifting. But when I'm on the open highway, I'm like this, right? By the last day of shooting, you see me driving down the road like this.
Get used to it.
Oh, awesome.
But getting back to the language thing, I remember I saw this sign. I'm like, got a question. What's a lorry? Because there's signs, no lorries. I'm like, what the hell what's a lorry? Oh, that's what you Americans call a truck. Oh, okay. Well, actually, they mean a tractor trailer.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an adjustment.
Yeah, because I saw lorry. I'm like, that's the only word I know. I know. And there's different things like a baby carriage is a pram, and the elevator's a lift, and they say cheers, not thanks. One of the other things you learn real quick is that'll be £2. What's quid? It's £2. But you know how we say that'll be $2? That's their kind of equivalent. They say £2. We say $2. It all means either the dollar or the pound.
Oh, wow.
So it was like some really wild stuff when I went over there. It was kind of the coolest thing.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Yeah, and I would have never thought that would be one of the challenges when you're going and visiting another country. But that's so accurate. That is another challenge.
Yeah, you're still in another country, and despite speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Kind of the same language.
Right.
Because I'll tell you what, the English, they speak more articulately than we do.
Yeah.
It's like, not can we get you breakfast? When in the morning, the girls will come out and go, can we organize you some breakfast, some hot breakfast?
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Why organize all you like?
Yes, you may.
I'll take the sausage, bacon, ham, cheese. I'll take that.
Right.
Wow. So the Loch Ness, any other cryptid?
No, I did spend a good amount of time in the paranormal world. Yes, I did have haggis the last night. I had haggis. I did eat it. It was okay. I would not get it again. It wasn't for me. But it wasn't like I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
What I did fall in love with was black pudding, which they usually serve with breakfast, and it is an oat type of. It's a fried oat cake that is seasoned with seasonings and lamb blood.
Ew.
But they fry it up, and the flavor is just amazing.
Wow.
And I figured I'm going to try everything, and it was like one of the things. Like, okay, it's really good. I'm going to keep eating it. Now there is American alternatives to that, because there is an American version. They do not use live blood, because they can't, but they may use some broth from meat, and as opposed to that. And I've had it, and it's not almost as good.
Yeah.
So
That is interesting to mix oats with something savory. I always think of oats as sweet.
yeah.
But is it a more savory palate?
It's kind of like a salty, savory type of thing, spiced with, I can't even remember the particular spices, but whatever it was, it tasted really good, and it complemented the eggs and the toast and the other food very well. So
I love trying new different culture foods. My biggest kick right now, it would be like Eastern Indian food. The curry, so good.
Well, England, believe it or not, England has a lot of curry.
Okay.
Because, as you know, India used to be one of their colonial colonies. So they are very big into curries over in the UK as well.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there like a Chinese curry as well?
Yeah, there is a difference between different curries.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of curry. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, we brought you on to talk about cryptids, and here we are talking about different styles of
Foods,
food.
yeah.
happens on our show all the time. We always navigate to food because everybody loves food.
Yeah.
My favorite food is seconds.
Get me in a buffet, and you see me with 4 or 5 plates. Yeah.
Usually I tell people I'm a light eater. When it gets light out, I eat.
I like that. That's really good. I'm gonna have to remember that.
And of course, I have an eating disorder as well. So, disorder of pizza, disorder of French fries, disorder of ice cream.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It seems contagious.
Well, now that I've softened everybody up with some laughs, let's get back to some bad news. No.
No bad news. No bad news.
Oh, man.
Now we come back to reality. So,
No.
So, what brought you into this field of Bigfoot? Has it always been a passion of yours?
I'm a masochist. No,
I knew it was not. That's why I laughed ahead of time.
No, actually, a couple of things. By trade, I'm an investigator, so I love a good mystery. But I did not know that years ago that there was sightings very close to where I lived. And a friend of mine back in 97 said, "Hey, you want to check this book out? It's about all these Bigfoot sightings up in Whitehall, New York, which isn't very far, and down in Columbia County, New York, Kinderhook."
Yeah.
And of course, the funny thing is that my half brother's mom lived right near Kinderhook, so it was like, oh man, this is really interesting stuff. So that's how I got into it. After a while, I'm reading this now as an adult, going, I wonder if this is all baloney. And then I found out not so much, because I ended up talking to in fact, most of the people in Monsters of the Northwoods I've met. Or I've met some of the people that they've trained. My mentors were the authors of the book, and I know all of. Unfortunately, Bill Brand passed away, but I know Bruce Allenbeck very well. I know Paul Bartholomew very, very well. Robert Bartholomew actually lives in New Zealand, so I don't know him very well, but we've talked. So it's really cool to, and like Paul and I, we got to do it. We're scheduling a lunch date sometime soon, but that's what we do. And I just hung out with Bruce at a festival the other day. He didn't have a table. I'm like, come on, take half mine. Oh. So we kind of sat together the whole time. We had a grand old time. So, they became my mentors and the funny thing is that the three of them were more journalists than they were actual, let's get in the field and do research. That was something I did on my own.
Yeah.
And that, of course, that's my nature because I'm an investigator. So I'm not so much the journalist, but what it did teach me is how to take a report, how to check sources, how to verify and confirm things from a journalistic standpoint. So,
right.
In fact, Bruce actually came from media. He was a newscaster for a couple of radio stations back in the 80s.
Wow, very cool.
So what are some of your investigative techniques?
Well, it all starts with the interview. It all starts with the process. And you have to develop your own system or go with a system and stick to it. Treat everything the same way. You get a written report a lot of times, then you talk to the person and they still want to talk to you over the phone about it, so you let them, prattle on, but then you want to have that face-to-face. And if all three of those interviews kind of coalesce and you do a really good forensic interview, you're in good shape, because the number one thing we want to do with a good interview is preserve that story.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But there are a lot of times that I've seen very bad interviews, and they're prone to everybody. Mm-hmm. I've seen cops do it. I've seen supposed interrogators do it, and I've seen people in the paranormal field do it, ufology do it, and of course Bigfoot do it. Mm-hmm. And we tend to ask leading questions. We tend to confirm things with our witnesses before they're done. We should just let them talk. Mm-hmm. Let them talk. And you stay stone-faced as possible. And then when they're done, you have anything else to add? No? Okay. Well, let me ask you this. And then you start asking questions. But how you ask those questions, and it's all based upon, think of the memory, how somebody remembers something, because we don't remember things like a video camera. That's a myth. We remember things like a box of Legos, and we build the things back up. We take them out of the drawer. There's the Legos. We put them back together. Sometimes one of them falls off and we forget about it. Sometimes we may remember it again and put it back on. Sometimes somebody will say something, and it's either true or not, and then we put another Lego on that thing. So you got to be very aware of contamination. So all of that becomes very, very important, and that's why we have to ask kind of neutral questions. We don't say, was it tall as this or tall as? Well, you can say, is it tall as that tree over there? Where would it come up to that tree over there? Perfectly neutral answer. Mm-hmm. Was it 8 feet, bigger than 8? If they have a real hard time, was it bigger than 8 feet tall? Smaller than 7 feet tall? You try to narrow it down, but you're trying to activate their senses so they can remember what they had seen.
Wow.
Instead of asking them, did they smell anything funny? Of course, that puts an idea in their head that maybe they were supposed to smell something funny. Mm-hmm. So instead you ask, do you remember any odors?
Yeah.
See, things like, did its eyes close? No. Do you remember anything about the eyes? So if you don't, if you ask those questions, yeah, exactly. And none of those is like an interrogation. See, there's a difference between interview and interrogation. An interrogation starts when somebody begins lying. Mm. But that doesn't usually start till the second half of the ball game. First half of the ball game, you have what I call the pregame, which is where you're doing, you're building a baseline and rapport with your witness. Mm-hmm. And then you have the interview section. That's the first half of the game. And if everything matches up, wonderful. Okay, I have a few questions, this and that. But what if their stuff isn't aiming up? Then you start asking them the questions. Well, I have a concern here because you had, which was it? Did you do this first or did you do that first? Because you've kind of changed it a couple of times, and I'm just curious as to, why is that, or, what may do that. You have to ask those clarifying questions. Mm-hmm. And if they don't give you a good answer, you don't have to confront them with it.
Right.
We're not doing technically interrogations, but you're just building enough evidence to walk away and say, this is either, well, okay, decent, credible witness, or this is the biggest crock I've ever heard. Mm. Yeah. And sometimes you're kind of halfway, like, I really don't know. Mm-hmm. So, but doing a good interview preserves the evidence, preserves the accurate evidence. And there's a lot of things, and it depends on when your sighting was. It drives me up a wall. That, they make a report last week. Oh, back in 2018, right? I'll give you a great example. I had this woman say, I've got Bigfoot on my property, blah, 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 blah. And the more I start talking to her, the more I realize that she has been contaminated by social media. She's been contaminated by this. Well, I think they can shapeshift and portal jump and all this. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then she was sending me pictures of these things on the ground that were just black, like black spots in the wintertime that were just piles of leaves. And she said, and then she made a comment, well, my husband went out there with a shovel. I told her not to do that. It's only going to make them angry. And he went out there with a shovel because I think he was trying to say, you're nuts. There's nothing here. Right?
Yeah.
So I let it go for a couple. I didn't talk to her for a couple of weeks. And I turn around and I say, hey, is everything okay? Is everything calmed down at your house? Because I wasn't feeding into it. And she says, oh, well, I talked to another Bigfoot group, and man, they're really interested in what I had to say, and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, and that's a bad Bigfoot group, because if they can't realize she's knucking futs.
Yeah.
Well, and I say that it's just that some people want to believe everything, and they're very gullible, and you know, and then there's a ton of other psychological reasons why too. They want to belong, they want to feel important.
Yes.
Something in their life isn't right. So
right.
That's why, and that's the vast majority of your hoaxers. Is not that they're profit, not that they're jokesters, but they're just looking for something to be special.
Right.
Oh, well, we even see that with researchers nowadays too.
Well, he's seen that for years, Abe. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody goes out there and said, "I went out there and man, there was 4 or 5 of them out there, and they were calling to us, and I think about next week we're going to do our research and see if we get anything going on." And oh yeah, there was 3 or 4 of them out there this time, and they speak Shawnee, and and they came back and told me, you know, but I can't record them. They don't like being recorded, and you know, they get very offended if they see a trail camera. And you know, so I left him. You know, I left him this dinner roll on the log, and I came back the next day, and my God, it was gone.
Yeah,
and then I found a rock on the ground, and man, they gifted me that rock. You know, or here's these sticks over here. That's got to be a glyph. And you know, so you get all of these things.
Yes.
You know, but where's the Bigfoot? Where's the tracks? Well, oh yeah, they want to play strip poker.
That's funny. Yep. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
There it is. I knew something was coming.
Oh man.
So I think that's great. I think that is a great way. I mean, that right there tells, you know, you putting your professional work and experience into that research. So what do you do with your interviews? Do you chronicle them and then kind of build a map off of location?
I do have a map.
Okay.
And it's actually on my website. You can see where all the sightings are and stuff like that. And just in my local area, the ones I've done it locally.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to a lot of states doing Bigfoot investigations in the past, but the ones I map are the local ones because that's my main that's my research area. You know, I may research a sighting, but that's my research area. So, so I map them out. You know, I don't like retelling people's stories a lot of times. You know, although my author friends, you know, my mentors did. I like reporting on stuff I do, and if there's something else, I like doing investigative reporting rather than just the journaling of it. Because I'll tell you what, you know, Brian Gosling always got mad because people would get his story wrong, and I understood that. Yeah. That's why I've always tried to keep Brian Gosling, who was a police officer in 1976 who had a sighting. I always try to keep his story straight because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always felt he's told the truth. I've seen him tell the story, and you can see physiologically, because I'm a trained forensic interviewer. I'm also a trained neurolinguist. So I look for neurolinguistic responses to questions. And, I mean, there's much more. And then there's body language stuff that I'm very, very key to, and micro expressions that people will have. And, you know, like when Brian tells a story, his hair starts to stand up. He starts to get short of breath. You can see him even sometimes he sweats. He's reliving the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't fake those type of things. Now, did he see a Bigfoot? The skeptic, the 100% skeptic will say, oh, well, you know, just because he may have believed he saw a Bigfoot, but, you know, No, I'm pretty sure he did. As
Yeah.
far as my opinion, my investigative opinion, I've talked to him enough,
Yeah.
and but he took a lot of crap from a lot of people over the for the years, and now finally, Whitehall has kind of embraced the Bigfoot thing finally. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not a taboo subject like it used to be.
Oh gosh.
So, as it tends to come out of that taboo stage, and people are talking about it more and more and more, people are becoming more comfortable, accepting stories that they hear. But that adds another layer of problem, because then everybody wants to have that story to tell. So then you have to do what you do, Steve, and that's to really sit somebody down and try to dig deep into their story and understand if it was legit or not.
And social media doesn't help.
Right.
No.
It doesn't matter what and people want to argue that, well, YouTube is not social media. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There's communities. There's people. Yeah. And people will find people that will follow them no matter what they say.
Yeah, that's true. Because, I've seen some very, we'll say, interesting characters have a very interesting level of following. And it's like, what? Really?
And the funny thing is that if you ever criticize some of the more cult-like ones,
yes.
it's not the cult leader you have to worry about. It's their little minions.
Yes.
They're the ones who have the smart mouths and have but there are no arguments a lot of times. They'll go on an attack like, oh, you're just full of, you're this. You haven't said anything to dispute what I've just said. Have a nice day. And they get blocked.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Just end it right there. Yep. There's been multiple times I've had to just, not even worth it. Just block. Yep.
And then the cognitive, and then you have a whole nother crew, which I think they really want to believe so bad that they exhibit a lot of cognitive dissonance that, like I was scrolling around, YouTube the other day, and there was some guy on a Bigfoot channel talking about the Ketchum study. Like, haven't we had enough of that already?
Yeah.
Haven't we had enough of that already? But he's talking it like it's the gospel. It's not. It can be very insane to the people that want to have good ground-based, realistic research.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like people will say, well, how can you explain this? How can you explain that? A lot of ways, post-traumatic regression, post-traumatic stress disorder, a reaction to a low frequency sound. So yeah, there's a bunch of things.
Yeah. Carl, real quick, he said if he didn't have a friend witness next to him when the whiskey shot request encounter, I wouldn't be retelling what happened that night. Yeah. Wow. So Steve, have you seen a cryptid?
I've seen a Bigfoot twice.
Very cool.
First time was in 2011, and my field team was out. Abe knows this story.
Hasn't been that long.
It's been that long.
Hey, bro, we go back, man.
We do. Shenanigans at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference.
Yes, sir.
2011, I had my team out, and we all came back in, and we were experiencing things. And the funny thing is, and this goes back to forensic interviewing, and that is somebody is telling you all these details about what happened beforehand, their incident, and then they're very vague about their incident. That's a big flag. Yes. Because the only reason why I don't even remember, like, if you ask me what did you do beforehand, well, I know I talked to the group, but I know we all sat around at the fire and talked. And if I didn't have a videographer there taping those interactions, what happened beforehand and whatnot, and we taped a little of the interaction at the fire before I go out by my lonesome while everybody's eating and grab some batteries out of my car and have a smoke, and I take my light and I look down one way and I look up the other way, and there's one standing next to a utility pole watching me.
Wow.
Now I could see the silhouette. Of course, this is 2011, so I got this great 300 lumen krypton bulb, and it's about 100 feet away. So but the eyes are reflecting back at me, and they were dark orange. And the first thing I did, it kind of looked behind it real quick, and then it kept its eyes on me, and I didn't move. I froze. So I don't know if it was trying to figure out if I had seen it or what was going on. But its reaction was just to stand there as still as possible. And I could see the damn thing blinking while it's watching me. And then finally I shook the light a little bit, trying to get some reaction out of it. And it just turned and walked into the woods. And the minute it starts to do that, my radio cackles, "Hey, Steve, we got a lot of movement on the southwest side of camp." I'm like, "Yeah, no kidding. Get Team A out here now." And that Team A had the videographer. So he came tooling out and he's videotaping me seconds after it happened. So I remember all of that. What I didn't remember for the longest time until I watched the video was that they actually found the scuff mark. It had walked into the woods.
Wow.
And the videographer was like, "That's fresh." And the videographer was a skeptic. And it was wild because I was going through video the other when I was doing the Ohio Bigfoot conference. I wanted to add some. I said, I know I got other video in there. I completely forgotten I had a rock thrown at me that night too.
That's right.
Yeah, and just like those little things, they disappear. So beware of anybody that knows that's had a really huge Bigfoot encounter in their life, and they go on to a lot of detail about the stuff that happens beforehand. 45% of it's about what happened beforehand and a lot of irrelevant stuff. We find that with people who are making up alibis and stuff, or to cover crimes, is "Oh yeah, I had breakfast." They'll tell you they had, Cheerios, and I got mad because my hair dryer didn't work or whatever, and I had to go and then there was traffic on the way to work, and then I got to work, and then between 1 and 2 o'clock I went to lunch. Well, that's when the murder happened. We went to lunch where? I forgot. You get stuff like that, right? So if the story is pretty consistent and informative at the beginning, it should be even more consistent and informing at the meat of the matter. And when it's not, flag.
Yeah.
So, and my second encounter, it was fun. You'll recognize some of these names that was there with me: Jeff Stewart. Shadow.
Jeff Thomas.
Yeah, Jeff Thomas, yes.
Yeah.
And also with me was Melissa Hovey and her husband, Wayne.
Wayne, yep.
And this was before they were married. And we're all, we're at the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Conference in 2012. Then I had this Nat Geo, was it Nat Geo? No, it was America's Book of Secrets, I think. Hang on, I'm trying to think. Yeah, this was Nat Geo for Paranatural. I'm trying to. It's either one or the other. You just don't. Yeah. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this was Nat Geo. So we have. No, I stand corrected. It was America's Book of Secrets because now I remember the video, the actual special. But anyway, it was the History Channel was up there to do they wanted to videotape a Bigfoot special on, does America have a Book of Secrets on Bigfoot? So they, and of course I was against that. But anyway, we drive all day long. We listen. We just, is it okay? We don't want you to go out after that drive. So is it okay? We just do a few interviews and we'll get out of your hair and let you guys, So we get there. And it was like an eight and a half hour drive. We're upbeat and it's raining out. And we got to set everything up in the rain. Then we got to collect wood in the rain. And, we were collecting a lot of birch that day because the bark and birch will burn wet or not because of the oils inside of it once it hits that heat. And so I remember we're all sitting around and Jeff, because it was raining, Jeff didn't want to bring his pillow and blanket into his tent. It was a new tent. And he goes, I just in case if my tent leaks, I can at least have a nice dry pillow and blanket for the truck or for the Jeep. And so we're all sitting there, and everybody one by one. Jeff goes to bed. Well, Melissa goes to bed first. Jeff then goes to bed. Me and Wayne, we're the late night. We're up, talking and smoking, and all right, well, yeah, it's time to go to bed. So we head in, and maybe an hour and a half later, my eyes open up. I have to use a tree. So I go to unzip my tent. I stick my head out, and running away after hearing me unzip the tent is a 5 to 5.5 foot tall, reddish brown, because it had become overcast. It had stopped raining. It was full moon, but it was overcast, so it was kind of like a nightlight. You didn't get that bright moonlight, but it was kind of like a nightlight. And there it was, running away. And my first reaction to it was like, no. I'm just overtired. I'm going to use the tree. I'm going to go back to bed. About 4 hours later, I had to use a tree again. That time I went like this. I poked my head out with a flashlight. Like, okay, I'm going to use the tree again. Right? So the next morning, I am woken up to Jeff. Steve, you got to come here and look at this. And something had left a birch log behind his Jeep.
Oh, wow.
That was not there the night before. He would have tripped over it had he tried to get his pillow and blanket out of the trunk of his Jeep.
Oh, wow.
And there's this birch log. I'll be damned.
That's cool.
So and then we're like, I go, well, I wasn't going to say nothing, but, and then Wayne and Melissa later on find a 9.5 track with toes that's about 4 inches in width.
Oh, wow.
In the same area that I had seen my goober running.
Oh, my
Wow.
So
way cool.
So they cast it. I let them keep the cast.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Wow. You do have a question here from Sherry. She wants to know if you witnessed or experienced anything weird or unexplainable that was related to cryptids or an investigation that you've done.
Just people.
Yeah. Touche.
Just people. No, this was no different. It didn't, like any animal in the woods. Yeah. Did it blend in real quickly? Yeah. When I saw the little guy run, when the other one walked into the woods, but no more different than a deer. And the speeds, the little one was running pretty fast, but I mean, it wasn't just like a blur. Like, no, it was, and I was like, and into the wood line. I'm like, no, I just didn't see that.
Wow.
No, I'm just waking up, just trying to use the tree. That's all I am. And I just didn't see that. And and mind you, this is only like a few hundred feet from where I had my sighting the year earlier.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, wow, this is crazy. But we always knew that area was going to be a hot spot because of other people having encounters. I had found a track in 2006 that was about a quarter of a mile from there, up on the off the trail that we were doing research in 2006, and we had actually heard some movement, smelled something really awful, heard it walking around us, and as we go back, as it was getting dark, we find this trackway off the going perpendicular to the trail. So I come back, we cast one of the prints right off the trail that day. The next day we come back, there's a whole trackway going down the hill, coming up. Actually, it was going up the hill and around us. And it was only about 35, 40 feet away from us when it walked around us.
Right.
But the smell was something I would never forget. And it's amazing. As quick as it was there, it disappeared. And it skunk, musk, wet dog, garbage, death, all rolled into one. I was a paramedic, and I've been in the houses before where people have been gone for a week, and that smells pretty horrible. This smelled worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess when people describe it, they describe it in different ways, but typically they describe it as very pungent. Very pungent.
You will not. The minute I smell it,
nauseating.
that's it. That is it. And it was just strong, pungent. And it was 40 feet away when we were smelling it at that distance.
Wow.
So is it something that's an apocrine gland or like an apocrine? Maybe. Is it a pheromone release? Maybe. Not quite sure.
Yeah.
Or they're from bad hygiene.
It could be too.
Right, yeah.
Because it certainly disappeared real quick. So it kind of like the smell went with it.
Exactly.
It was carrying the smell on it. So speaking of weird experiences and stuff, what are your thoughts on other cryptids like the Dogman
I don't.
or you know, the Mothman, things like that?
Well, the Mothman could be something paranormal. I think the Dogman is something paranormal because no physical creature can walk on 2 feet having dog legs, like dog back legs. That's anthropologically and morphologically impossible. You would think that if they were around a while, they would have different adaptations. And there seems to be sometimes some inconsistency with Dogman sightings that would indicate that, you're dealing with something that is not necessarily of a biological nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is a huge variety of these out here of the Dogman. They talk about the different varieties of Dogman. I'm like, to me, it's interesting because I'm thinking, how could one subset of cryptids have all these different varieties? Dogman is very interesting. It's the only cryptid I've ever seen with no doubt of my own eyes, but I always say I struggle to call it a Dogman because it never had any of this typical behavior patterns that other people describe,
Right.
of standing on 2 feet, its 2 back legs, being very aggressive and intimidating. None of that happened for me. So it's very interesting. So
Yeah, I think it falls within the realm of the paranormal than necessarily. And like I said, do I believe in the paranormal? Yes, I do believe in the paranormal. I do not believe Bigfoot is paranormal. There's just too many indicators that it's a flesh and blood creature. I mean, it's very similar to us. One of the books I had written was based on using. Actually, I just did a sequel to it last year. It's based on primate behavior in comparison to Bigfoot behavior and vice versa, and it falls right within the realms of all your Bigfoot, your primate behaviors. And people say, "Oh, it's a human. It's not an ape." Well, number one, I always say if it was a human, then it would have the exact same DNA in us, and we can dispel that immediately by looking at its foot structure. Its foot structure is different. That means it would have different DNA structure. That's number one. But number two is that we are part of the great ape family too. We are considered great apes as well.
So what I always tell people too.
Yep. So that argument is, and what you find is a bunch of people that are very over defensive, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
If they're okay, well, if we're and you get the religious people that and I get that, I understand that too, but I'm kind of a believer in that creation had something to do with evolution. With 7 days to 6 days to create the earth and heaven and everything. But what is that in God terms? Not to get on a religious basis. Maybe this whole genetic thing and evolution thing was just the mixing bowl he used to make us.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that all being said, bro, do you also, yes, flesh and blood, yes, primate, but hominology.
Homina.
That's all, folks. No. But, as far as it goes, do you think, because it's a hominid too, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, because even great apes are hominids too. Yeah.
Yeah, we all fall into that gaggle. And my line of thinking is it's very interesting because we have the hold on a second. We have the orangutans, which are part of the not
Giganto?
the Arthropithecines.
Okay.
Giganto, and then we have the chimpanzees, and the gorillas, and then we have the Homo genus, which had Homo erectus and Homo neanderthalensis.
Exactly.
But one group dropped off that was a hominid.
Right.
And that was the
Paranthropus. There may be more than just one.
And that was the Paranthropus line. So I'm thinking that a Bigfoot may actually be off the Paranthropus line rather than the homogeneous, the homo line, or the Arthropithecines line, or the I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain finicky right now.
It's good. It's good. So, I mean, do you think it is a relative of the Homo genus? I mean, based on the foot. I mean, if we're looking at the foot and stuff like that, it does very look along the Homo genus.
It looks. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What does their foot have in common with ours?
Where the toes can grasp, just the toes basically that can grasp. Otherwise than that, the morphology of the foot itself is a lot more different than ours.
Right. So the only thing they have in similarity to us is inline toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that they walk upright. That's the only commonality.
We don't have a mid-tarsal break.
We don't have a mid-tarsal, but we evolved from a mid-tarsal break.
Mm.
Okay, if you look at some of the great apes, they have mid-tarsal breaks, but they also have opposable toes as big toes, right?
Yep.
But that's because they come from an they're still primitive, and they still, for the most part, are arboreal.
Yep.
Right? Whereas we're not. So, and if you think about it, gorillas aren't really arboreal. When they're young, they are. They'll climb trees when they're young.
Yeah.
And that's why they have those. They still have those opposable, that arboreal type feet. But if you think about how we evolved, the bigger we got, the less we became. Our foot structure became arboreal. It went from like the Homo naledi, which had both inline toes and a mid-tarsal break, to Homo erectus that had nothing but an arch and a ball of the foot, and like our feet have evolved today. So what I'm saying is Paranthropus boci and Paranthropus robusti, they both had inline toes as well, but they also evolved from having a mid-tarsal break because we all came from the same tree.
Okay. So, do you think that there was interbreeding between the Homo and Paranthropus?
I don't know I don't believe so, because there is no other blending. So perhaps the gene structure there was not compatible. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like if you look at can you breed a gorilla with an orangutan? You can't.
No.
Same thing, because they're different branches.
Right.
But can you make a hybrid out of a chimpanzee and a bonobo? You can.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're part of that same branch. So they're close enough. They're close enough that you could create a hybrid. I think at the particular point in time that the Paranthropus, and mind you, I think the Paranthropus died off before any of the more modern Homo genus was around. Like I think they died off prior to Homo erectus being around. They might have been around Homo erectus. I know they weren't around when there was Homo Neanderthal. So, and the stark difference is the last Paranthropus looked starkly different than than the Homo genus. They were covered in hair, so you may not a Neanderthal or Homo erectus or even Homo sapien would not find that quite attractive, right? Right. Whereas like a Homo sapien and a Neanderthal, they're close enough that there might be some physical attraction there to create that type of union. The same thing with a chimpanzee and maybe a bonobo, where they're so similar they may have that attraction to one another. But that's why you don't naturally get hybrids like a gorilla and a chimpanzee, or because of the differences. And
yeah, if they were able to even do that, it would have to be like super genetic modification, like a liger, I guess.
Yeah, a liger came to mind too.
And that's created in a lab. That's not even created naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can't breed because Yeah.
And,
We do
or,
have,
or a mule. A mule is a hybrid
yeah,
too.
right. Also can't breed. So we do have a question here. Having the opportunity to produce or be a part of production on mainstream network TV shows, how do you approach productions for people who are curious and in tune, but not necessarily in the paranormal community?
Nah, that's out of my pay grade. I really, my own podcast, I just do my own thing. And if people want to join in and follow the philosophy, follow the science, follow the reality of the mystery, then they follow. But as far as like the mainstream stuff, I don't produce it. So I'm just talent. And but one thing I won't do is compromise my integrity or say anything that's untrue.
I love it.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they've asked me to say things, and I said I can't say that. That's not true. Well, they would be like, okay, well, can you say something that would be a true statement about that? Okay, yeah, no problem. Because I tell you what, the people I've worked for never have tried to force me to say anything. Of course, the only thing I'm under contract with those folks is a non-disclosure agreement, because unbeknownst to anybody, I have never gotten paid for any of my network programs except The Truth Behind the Loch Ness Monster. And that was in 2011.
Wow.
And that's because they took me out of work for 9 days. I had to take a leave, or I don't know if I took vacation or leave or whatever. I think I took a leave because I was getting paid, and they let me take a leave for a week and a half, a couple of weeks actually. But I've never gotten paid. I don't even get paid for The Proof Is Out There.
Wow.
I just look at it as, hey, it's exposure for me, and I'll take that, and that way nobody can say that the dollar controls me, or if they're going to pay you something, then they think they may have you under their thumb, which they don't, because they don't like it. Oh, fine. I said I'd be here, but I'm not going to lie, and if you want me to lie, I'm going to walk. Simple as that.
Yeah. Good for you. And that's one thing I always looked up to you and admired about you, man. You stick to your guns. You tell it like it is, and the science. You stick to the science too.
Yep. Well, I stick to investigatory principle, which in a sense is forensic science, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But and if I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong. I'm only human.
It takes a man to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you see people that are wrong that just double down on stuff a lot of times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So speaking of science, since we brought that full circle, I did have a question earlier that we can come back to now. So what do you think about all these paranormal like things that are going on that people are describing either with Bigfoot experiences or in Bigfoot heavy locations?
Well, I think there's one of three things going on. Well, look at Abe's loosening it up for this one.
They already know where I come from, kind of. So
me too. But...
So there's one of three things going on. Either one, they're being affected by some very easy science, either in psychology or physiology. Like I said, post-traumatic regression. Well, it was there and then it just disappeared. Well, it probably disappeared in the time your mind was trying to figure out what the hell you were looking at. Because Bigfoot's not in your wheelhouse normally. You don't go out and try to see a Bigfoot all the time. So your mind's got to go, wait a minute, what am I looking at? And, where'd it go? Right? That's one. Yeah. Sometimes you can have post-traumatic regression. I mean, think about it. You're standing next to something that's huge, that's ugly by all intents and purposes. And it's much larger than you, and there's a fear factor to it. So you're looking at and boom, all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
Then you have the other ones, the portal jumping, or the turned into an orb or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there are things called low frequency. Sometimes it's infrasound, and there is infrasound in Bigfoot vocalizations. There should be, because until recently, I'm working on something rather interesting.
Does it have to do with any humming?
Yeah, it could be. and what we found out in some of the research we've been doing is that gorillas are pretty close to infrasonic when they're yapping.
Hmm.
They go down to as low as 35 hertz, which 20 hertz is infrasound.
Yeah. Yes.
So I can say that I've heard things that have gone down as far as what we can audibly hear, because we do not have infrasound recorders with this stuff, but it's gone down as low as 32 hertz. So that would create some, even if it's not cusping the infrasound marker, it still may have some infrasound effects.
Right.
Because it's that low. So you may still get, it doesn't have to be this right on the mark to create an infrasound effect. So I think that's part of it as well. I think that, and what does infrasound do? Well, there was a study in the 70s what infrasound does. And what it does is it vibrates the ears, it vibrates the eyes, and it can create you to hear things, think things. It can create the eyeballs to hallucinate because of that. I'm sorry.
Give you kind of like a panic attack feeling.
Yeah, that too. Like you're being watched, or nausea, or a bunch of those things. Like if you ever seen have you ever seen the movie Paranormal Activity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have you seen it in the movie theater, or did you see it on TV?
I watched it on TV, but I can imagine.
Well, you didn't think it was that scary, did you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, why did people in the movie theaters think it was so scary?
Because it was their whole world in that moment.
No.
The audio.
The audio was filtered with infrasound.
No way.
So when you listen to the Paranormal Activity movies and you hear that sound, like you always hear that sound before something was about to happen.
Yeah.
In the theater systems, it was actually infrasound being pumped up.
No way.
And
that's
that
why
caused people to
out.
feel creeped out and scream and get extra nervous and jumpy.
Oh, dumb, dirty dogs.
Wow. I had no idea. Because I watched it at home and I'm like, why was everybody tripping out about this? Because it really was not as scary as it would make me scream and run out of a movie theater, pass out. There were people passing out during the movie. That's wild.
Wow.
Well, I see that question up there. Have I heard the infrasound that you uncovered from the Cells site in Texas? Well, I can tell you that if it is infrasound in the Cells site, it's not really. I don't know what to say about that, other than the fact that the video evidence that's been out of that area and some of the foot castings out of there are not real. Out and out, not real. I know I was there in 2006 to investigate all of it, and including the fence walker, which clearly was Mike in a ghillie suit. I analyzed the audio on the one where supposedly the Bigfoot pushed him, and the groaning that he said was Bigfoot was actually coming from behind the camera, not in front of the camera. So that was very clear that he was making those noises himself. The tracks that were made in there were probably some of the worst fakes I've ever seen. Although the interesting thing is we did come across a few real ones as well, but the ones he led us to were not the real deal. So I have no idea. I think there's Bigfoot out there, but I think that he lived near a place called Pat May's Lake out in near Paris, Texas. And I know there's something out there, but I know for sure he was not videotaping those, and there was a whole gaggle that was involved in that.
I think it would be worth the listen if you could link up with Carl and hear it. Yeah, I think it would be worth the listen, kind of get your take on it. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, my I'm available on Facebook, or you can always email me at admin@watchdetective.com.
Very cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about it afterwards, because it's very interesting.
Well, the beautiful thing in the research we've been doing with this sound stuff is we have a way of we can break it down into a spectrogram within minutes, and we can analyze it within minutes as well.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very awesome.
And
Yeah.
we can compare it to other North American fauna, or to natural noises, or to we can compare it to anything that's out there, pretty much, that's known.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be exciting when you hear it because it's not what you think. So I've heard it myself. So
I don't know. Abe may have heard what I was talking about.
the humming, the buzz, like it sounds like a butterfly effect, the wing, or a hummingbird.
No, not really. Not really. It's a little different. That doesn't sound like that kind of buzz.
Okay.
But it's.
oh man, I don't know how you feel about putting.
I would maybe describe it like a purr.
Purr. I say it is like a hummingbird sound because that's what Highcheck is starting to look into as well from different audio clips. It sounds like a hummingbird's wings buzzing.
Well, that's really easy to find out because hummingbirds' wings buzzing is actually high frequency, not low frequency.
Okay. Huh.
It'd be surprising. A lot of people think that certain sounds are, because they sound low, means they're in the low frequency. That's pitch, not frequency.
Gotcha.
Interesting. So is the audio recorder that is being recorded on have the ability to corrupt and record it differently than it's actually being put out in that moment? Or however the recorder picks it up, you can test that frequency.
Well, the recorder should not corrupt how something sounds.
Okay.
Unless the battery's going dead. Then you can get some really weird tail off effects.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was just very curious about that. If any recorder was able to pick up the frequency.
So here's what can happen though. What can change the frequency and pitch sometimes is echoes.
Yeah.
Or canyons, or you're not getting. Doesn't usually happen when something is about 5 feet away from the recorder.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're going to get a pretty clean recording.
Yeah, I was curious about that. That was legit curiosity on my end. So.
Yeah, usually a recorder won't corrupt anything. I've never come across a corrupted recording unless the batteries were dying, and even that time, a lot where we get corruption because the batteries dying would be analog devices, not so much digital.
Okay. Yeah, if see your wheels turning, Abe, you look like you're thinking.
Well, I was just kind of thinking about the.
Oh no! Wait, hang
What's
on.
going on in there?
Oh, you and him.
Oh no! Hey, wait! Hang on! I can hear Abe thinking now.
Crickets. Yeah. Oh man, I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Now I totally lost what I was thinking about.
See what it's magic.
While you sit there and dial back in again, we're going to go to this question for
Yes,
Bob.
there we go.
Do you believe that they can mimic other sounds? I mean, I've heard of people describing them mimicking voices, other animal sounds. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that. If they can mimic sounds as a primate other than us, I would be surprised. I think that they may whistle. I think that they may hear a whistle and they're able to they may do a half-aid attempt at doing it back. Do I believe they can mimic speech? Well, it will, but it'll sound weird. But it's mimicry. It's not actual language. And it's very interesting because one of the reasons why we are able to speak is because we have the FOX2 gene. I forget what maybe it's the FOX2G gene or something like that. But it's the FOX2 gene that we have. That, guess who else has it? Certain birds that can mimic. Right?
Parrots.
like parrots. So can they mimic? Maybe, but it would be in the way like a parrot does, maybe, because there's a lot of other brain development things that go on. Even mice. I mean, they actually added in an experiment. They added this gene to lab mice, and they began to squeak differently.
Wow.
And they were, I guess they were quicker to realize things or quicker to react to things. So it was very interesting on that particular gene. But, you know, you got to understand, people think, you know, there's certain people that want to say they have a language. Okay. And that kind of bounces into the anthropomorphism thing, where we tend to want to think that other animals have qualities and traits like us. And we do have a certain set of qualities and traits that are similar amongst all primates, like how we habituate, how we react in some of those habituation areas. But things like language, when they still don't use fire, or they don't make complicated tools, they don't craft tools, they don't craft, you know, garments to protect themselves. Yeah, that would be a big indicator that they really haven't developed a language yet. You know, that's why I kind of find it kind of funny. Oh, they left us a glyph. Wait a minute, these things are writing? They don't even make a fire, for crying out loud, or they don't even make a tool, right? But they understand language perfectly. Makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
Learning is a graduated thing. It's not something that, oh, we'll do this, but not this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Right.
So with that being said, what are your thoughts on the Sierra Sounds?
Well, my whole thing on the whole Scott Nelson thing now is he believes it's a language, and if he believes it's a language, that actually speaks against the Sierra Sounds, because he's comparing it to his knowledge of other languages, and that's anthropomorphic. And if somebody is hoaxing audios, how would they hoax an audio? Very anthropomorphically. That is probably one of the biggest reasons why, you know, we can call out hoaxers, is because they overthink themselves, or they don't think themselves. Like, they'll overthink the creature, but they'll underthink how their reaction should be. And it's a constant thing that I see, knowing behaviors of primates versus behaviors of people. And when I see those two types of things in the opposite manner, I can say, there's an issue. But that's the reason why I think there's an issue with that, is because nobody has heard or recorded anything like the Sierra Sounds. Now, people say, well, it sounded like it to me. That could be audio pareidolia, which does occur. Okay. If you're already predisposed to hear those noises and you hear something similar to it, you're going to say, that's it. Right?
Yeah.
And then you have this gentleman going, hey, yeah, this has all the trademarks of language as we know it. But we know chimps have their own language, but it's nothing like ours. It's nothing complicated like ours. We know that gorillas have their own language, and orangs have their own type of language. They have a series of communications they make, and they understand what it is. And guess what? The chimp language in one area is different from chimp language in another area, and the same thing with the orangs. That's culture. So we know chimps, gorillas, and orangs all have culture too. So it's not a big surprise that a Bigfoot may have its own language. But it's nothing where they're going to sit there and do a chalkboard. And it's not going to be universal either.
Right.
Because think about it. It's not like they're sending a telegram to the East Coast Squatchers to say, hey, this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like these folks that say, oh, I believe they speak an Native American language. And how would they pass that along? You know, you think we would discover a classroom of them somewhere. Because that's how we pass along our language in groups.
Right, yeah.
Around a circle, learning, looking, watching, being taught. Nobody's ever reported seeing that.
So do you think that they could potentially be, you know, a farce, or do you think that it's more just noises and vocalizations based on emotion? Is it, or
Well,
do you think,
it could be either or.
yeah,
Because as primates, we get bored,
yeah,
right? You ever watch even a chimpanzee can sit there and go
yeah,
because it's bored. It's just making a noise and saying, and then it may be kind of enjoyable if something's going. I mean, look at a dog. A dog has the mindset of a 3-year-old, right? And yet I can teach my dog to howl
yeah,
like a coyote, and he's a Shih Tzu. Right?
right,
So you can, but when he howls, it's because he's learned. It's a mimic type of thing. So is that? I mean, do we not sit there and go, "Oh, oh, oh, oh," right?
Yeah.
Do we not do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't mean we know what it means.
right,
There's Bigfoot, ooh, 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 and all the deer come running, right? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here comes all the birds, right?
right. Justin does have a question. It says, you seem very knowledgeable on sound analysis. Fast Fourier transform FFT is used in vibration and sound analysis. Has anyone used that technology to break down the sound investigations?
It's part of ours. It's all part of that gaggle, and what that will teach you is like the vibrational analysis will tell you if it's a mechanical noise, a wind noise, or a biomechanical noise, which is a voice or a vocal tract.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have another question here. Do you think that Bigfoot can reason?
Well, that's a no-brainer because, and this is a story I've told very often, is that when Jane Goodall, and this is right in her book, The Chimps of the Mojave, when she was doing her internship with Dr. George Schaller, they would bring a chimpanzee into a room, and in this room there was a conduit pipe that had a banana in the middle of it. And the banana was placed in such a way that no matter how the chimpanzee would reach in, he could not grab the banana either side. And what they did was they put a broomstick next to the conduit pipe, wondering if the chimpanzee would figure out to take that broom and push the banana out. And the first team, the day one goes by, nope. Tries to get the banana, nope. Plays with the broomstick, nope. We go into, on the 13th day, they were just about ready to call it quits. And that chimpanzee walked right into the room, grabbed the broomstick, and pushed the banana out without. So it had been thinking about the problem. So yes, if chimpanzees can do it, gorillas do it, orangutans do it. They all are able to rationalize. They're all able to pre-plan, and they're all able to abstract think.
Yeah.
So that's why when hunters say, well, I've been hunting for 15 years, I've been hunting for 50 years, and I never shot one of those things. If it was out there, I would have found it. Well, really, have you ever hunted a primate before? Something that uses a very large brain, not the brain of an ungulate, not the brain of an ursa, not the brain of a feline. So no, you haven't. So you can't say because you were able to bag a deer, a cat, a bobcat, a bear, an elk, whatever, that you would be able to certainly bag a Sasquatch.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, you kind of do see some reasoning in domesticated animals as well, like cats and dogs. I mean, it's not just people and Bigfoot and primates that can reason and figure things out. It's other. I think you see it more in domesticated animals.
Right. But it's the pre-planning a lot of times. Like dogs and cats, they have learned behavior. Like they figure things out and then they remember it. But they have to be kind of in the fire there to see to learn what to do. Whereas the chimpanzee was presented with a problem, left it, and was thinking about it, and it was on his mind going, how am I going to get this banana out of that pipe?
That's true. Yeah.
Right? So that's the difference between an animal. But yeah, I mean, animals can figure it out. Squid, believe it or not, octopus can do that. But then again, octopus are freaks of nature because they have like 9 brains. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I did not know that
crazy.
They have a brain on each tentacle.
What?
They can
How
act
did I know that?
independently.
Wow.
And
And
don't
then
they
they
have
change-
more than one heart?
They got more than one heart. They change color.
Yeah.
They can naturally camouflage themselves. They can figure out puzzles. They can open doors. They can, they've set all these little traps from underwater, and they do these things incredibly
Yeah.
smart creatures.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's wild. Yeah, I didn't even think about the octopus, but yeah, that is wild. Did you dial back in, Abe?
I did. I was going to ask you, what do you think the best evidence that we have of Bigfoot right now, video-wise, is?
Video. Hang on a second. Hang on. Yes, that's right, folks. Abe just ask the elephant in the room question.
Think a little bit on this one. I have one while you think. My favorite.
I'll say this.
Okay.
To me, it used to be the Patterson Gimlin film.
Yeah.
Right now, my gut's saying, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
And I have my own reasons for it. I've done my own investigating. I said that purposely that way. And I'm withholding anything that I think about that right now.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the Freeman footage?
Well, it has a very strange parallel to something. And do you know that there is a Freeman film that came out 4 months before the famous one?
What?
No.
Yes, there is a second Freeman film. Looks a lot the same, just a little further away. Bigfoot kind of walks kind of like the whoomp, whoomp, like you see in the original one. But it was further away. And there's Paul saying, out here. Oh, yeah. Look at these tracks here. Oh, look. Oh, I've been waiting all my life to see that. Yeah. So I have some pause now. and isn't it a coincidence that somebody else is claiming that there's something similar with another film? So I'm going, So
I will not answer right now.
I'm just going to hold off.
All right.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, and you know what? And like I say, whatever it turns out to be, remember, these are case by case basis. And a lot of people say, well, what if, people have been talking, what if it is not real? Of course, we're talking about Patterson Gimlin film. It's just one case it's just hung around a while. And because it did, it got a lot of notoriety. I mean, remember the Loch Ness Monster went through a very similar thing back in the 90s called the Surgeon photo, which went back to the 20s. So that actually survived a lot longer than, what this is, if it comes out to be something else. But I hope it doesn't, but you can hope in one hand and have reality in another hand. Which hand's going to fill up quicker? Which hand's going to be the heavier one, right?
Well, and what makes me scratch my mind is the whole Munns report that he's done on that film. I mean, the film has been scrutinized since it came out. It's lasted, almost 60 years?
Oh, over, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was, hey, listen, I went to the school of Bill Munns, and I went to the school of Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and let me just be blunt and say that had I stuck with my original gut feeling with the original Patterson Gimlin interview done by Jack Webster back on October 26th, 1967, I probably would have been right. Because it was one of the worst interviews I've ever seen in my life. And as a forensic interviewer, it makes me have a little pause that something didn't sound quite right there. That's as a forensic interviewer. But then I hear a scientist, somebody I respected, and I love that Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and watch his dissertations. Because out of all the people, I've done a lot of lectures over the years in a lot of different places, and the person I shared the stage with the most was Dr. Meldrum. And yeah, I mean, I went to his school many a times, and he had me a firm believer in it because of the science. Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong about that, because like I say, analyzing witness interviews is not a 100% exact science. It's why they don't introduce that into courts. It's a tool to say where you should go in the investigation.
Yeah.
And that's huge to remember. You can never say somebody is lying by a forensic interview by itself or a neurolinguistic review but it can give you the tools to say, I believe they are. Now let's dig a little deeper in another way.
Yeah.
Example, the Bigfoot Peeper case. I heard the story. It psychologically did not make sense because the man says he was videotaping it for 8 minutes. And that's how he got the pictures that were being shown. After 8 minutes, his wife walks in the room, which first thing is, well, wait a minute, something's out there in the thing. The first thing you would do is go, hey, honey, don't go out on the porch. There's something out there. Or, hey, honey, look at this, right? But no, his wife walks in after his first inclination is to videotape. So, number one, he has no, one of the first things the mind does is self-preservation and protection of your loved ones.
Yeah.
Right. So he didn't do that. And then his wife walks in, she screams and runs out of the room, and he puts the camera down and then grabs his firearm. Well, if you felt, again, self-preservation is number one. If you felt you were in danger, that's the first thing you would have grabbed, not your video camera. So as we dig into it, we find out he doesn't own any property where he says he does. He doesn't live where he says he does. He actually lives in the middle of this very suburban area. And he is a convicted felon.
Right.
And got caught working as a Santa's helper, which he shouldn't have been doing.
Wow.
In Colorado again, after, So yeah, definitely there was something wrong with the whole thing there. And what it was is if you look at that kind of person, he has been stigmatized so much because of his past that, if it ever came out, he would be ostracized. And, it's a way of belonging to a community. He was using a pseudonym. He was actually using his middle name as his first name, which is another common ploy that bad guys usually do. Mm-hmm. So that's how that fetters out. So yeah, but the one thing on its own should not be a lone kicker. Normally.
Right.
Normally. I mean, sometimes it's so obvious, like that was so obvious. Yeah, this guy's full of beans.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Since we brought up the video thing, I'm kind of curious. I've showed it on the show before on one of our open forum shows that we did. The Bigfoot that is chucking trees at this logging site. And the workers are the ones filmed it on an older phone camera. So it's pretty blurry, but you can see the trees getting thrown, whole trees that they've cut down. What do you think? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that one.
That one's very interesting to me.
When did it come out?
I'm not sure when it was first posted to YouTube, but it's been out for a while.
It's been out for.
Yeah, it's not getting any notoriety.
What's it called? The Loveland one? Loveland? Did you say?
It's a logging company. Let me see if I can find it. It's a logging company that's out and they're logging trees, and this Bigfoot just is chucking these trees, like these whole trees. Let me see if I can find it.
Thinker Thunker got's a good one. 16 minutes.
Oh,
20.
it's the Thinker Thunker is the people who posted it. Here, let me see if I can.
Well, here, you want me to?
I'll show you real fast
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me see. Let me share the screen here. Well, as soon as it figures out what it's doing.
See, look at that, putting me on the spot. Real-time analysis right here.
There we go. Okay, here we are. We're going to put it up on screen here. Hopefully it's not.
Yeah, you want to mute that too.
Yeah.
Steve, I also sent it to you via chat.
Okay, yeah. Well,
and if you watch the full video, they're talking about it, and it's like, is it throwing trees? And
well, where's the?
I mean, it really looks like very.
Oh, wait. Oh. There's something on the ground launching those.
Yeah.
If you notice to the back of it, there's something black that popped up once or twice. As the tree is being launched, you see something black and flat.
I did see that.
And then it came back down.
To me, it looked very gorilla-esque. It almost looked like a gorilla, but
could be a gorilla suit, and they may have like a some kind of springboard back there, or a catapult, or a little mini catapult, or something that they.
Yeah, it was that was one of my most favorite ones I've come across, because it would be really hard for a human to chuck a tree like that. Like, it would be impossible. But
which would say is probably mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob
I
right
think
now
it was-
is. Yeah, but it could have been. It could have been, because it seems like the throw comes from behind.
And let's face it, if something, again, self-preservation, Bigfoot's throwing logs in your direction, what's your first order of business? To film it or go to safety?
Right. Yeah.
Right. because I've had rocks thrown at me, and you see me back up sometimes.
Yeah.
Or but you won't see me go, oh, let me throw another rock. I'm ready. No, you see me like, whoa, what the?
Missed me.
Yeah. Now I see that question. What do I think of the Ohio Bigfoot fiasco in March? Is it a fiasco? It's called the flap. It happens.
Yeah.
And they do happen. There was no evidence to the contrary. Nobody's come out and say I faked it.
Yeah.
I do know there was this 14-year-old somewhere. I forget where it was, but he had came out and said that he had taken a picture of one, and we did the breakdown of that one, and that was all horse manure between the interview and the breakdown of his picture. But the Bigfoot fiasco, I don't necessarily call it a fiasco. I just call it a panic. They happen from time to time.
Yeah.
And, of course, people say, oh, no, it didn't happen. Yes, it did. And I understand there's a group that may have been kind of that volunteered to go investigate stuff that. So I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I did report on it. I did have Jeremiah on it. And by the way, Jeremiah, we want to wish him the best. He just found out he has lymphoma.
Oh no.
So he is, and he's lymphoma. It's the negative factor. So that is when that has the higher cure rate.
Okay.
So, but we're still, he's still got a long fight against him. And, obviously he's going to lose income over it and stuff. So somebody set up a GoFundMe for him.
Oh.
And he's,
Yeah.
he had something growing, and he had surgery, and he's made this public now. So
Yeah.
I feel okay about talking about it. And of course, it tested his lymphoma. So
Wow. Oh, well, I think we'll all pray for him at the very least, and maybe keep an eye out for that GoFundMe and anybody who can. See if they can help out.
I see Bigfoot Recon saying it's a few who think they're bears. They may be. But then again, there were a few people that thought they were bears when Whitehall had the flap too.
Yeah. Well, what I
So,
found was interesting about that whole situation was a lot of those reports are being reported to one group.
the Bigfoot mapping project, and some were being reported to Jeremiah as well.
Okay. Okay.
So there was
Well,
actually two different sources,
Okay,
and
good.
he did speak to some of them personally on the phone.
Oh, cool.
And many of them did not want to go public with their names or anything like that too, which is kind of a credit thing. It's not like a fame thing. This is, hey, this is what we saw. We want to tell you. I ain't got
Right.
time for anything else. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. A lot of people are, well, and of course I know some of the Ohio researchers were up in arms about it, and I understand that. Because it wasn't them that it got reported to sometimes. And sometimes when that happens, even me, I'm like, what? But then I have to sit there and I have to bring myself back. I have to, so they didn't report it to me. They reported it to this group out here. And all of a sudden they're over here, in my backyard looking at this thing. But we're not doing the investigation on those. So who am I to say, if somebody is, there's people that opinions are opinions. I have seen no evidence for or against it. The only thing I've seen for it is some anecdotal, because we haven't had any of the witnesses come live and give their testimony, correct? So what it is, it's just anecdotal evidence. Their stories, map them, figure them out, put a question mark next to them and move on. It's not enough to, like, I'm not going out to Ohio tomorrow. It's that's still a 12-hour drive for me.
Yeah. It's a long way.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Abe, I don't know if you have any more questions. But,
I do see. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you?
No.
I was just going to ask you, what's one of the, with all your investigations, what's one of the most intriguing cases or videos that you've investigated or had to break down and say, yeah, this is not what it is?
Not what it is was, well, I probably have to say the Mississippi skunk ape video. That was the one where the guy was taking a video of it and it was peeling the bark off a tree and had its back to it. And I automatically saw what looked like a seam tear in the suit. But after a little while of digging, I found out where the video had come from. They said this name with the guy submitter was Josh Highcliffe. And so at the time I was a private investigator. So I ran him in my system, the name Josh Highcliffe. Let's see if he lives where he lives. Let's see if he says who he says he is. Turns out in the whole United States database, there is no Josh Highcliffe. So I did a Google search, and guess what it came up? I found a hit. And it came from the Internet Data Movie Database. And it wasn't a person playing a role. It was a character in a show called The Beasts of the Bayou. And it was very much like a Mountain Monsters type of show. It only aired 4 episodes before it was like, let's see, I'm trying to think. Was it 4 episodes? Was it, it was 4 episodes. And then it got the gong. That's it. No more. They tapped out on. But their first episode was, and I found the actor who played Josh Highcliffe, and somebody had already talked to this guy too about it, and the guy said, yeah, the whole thing was just made up for a TV show. And this is the actor saying that. And then you watch the actual video clip of it, and yes, here's Josh Highcliffe, and it's the actor that's playing Josh Highcliffe, but they have his face blacked out, trying to make it look real. So the whole thing was it was created to create a viral sensation. So when this show had a springboard, on the premiere episode, and the funny thing is, they all say it was in Mississippi. The show said it was actually in Louisiana. So there's another big faux pas there. And so it all came down to it was just a thing in a TV show.
Okay.
And I was the one who dug that out. Really, that showed here it is. Like I mean, there was another guy who did it, but you never got any traction. I don't even know the guy was some Facebook user. But you look at Josh Highcliffe's Facebook page, he only made 2 posts. One on his own page saying, I could use some help here. I've seen this Bigfoot. And, blah, blah, blah. And then there was another post he made on cryptomundo.com. With the same, basically sharing the same post he made on his own personal page. And then you look at the YouTube channel, Josh Highcliffe, there's only one video on it, and that was that. And it was created like it was created pretty quickly, either before it was created like the day of them airing, putting up the video, and there's never been another video on it since. Mm-hmm. So it all has the hallmarks of somebody creating a couple of stock accounts to, if it picked up buzz, maybe they could work it. And we've seen that pattern before, because back in 2005, the end of 2005, there was a video called the Sonoma video that was out there, and a couple of people were saying it was real. I looked at it, and and the guy had set a little website up about his whole encounter. And I'll go back 2005. I was the first one to use metadata to debunk a case, Bigfoot case. And the pictures were not anywhere in the order they said they were, because those are the days you couldn't mask your metadata. Right? So here's the date and time they took all these pictures. And they don't match the chronology of events that happened. Why would you take a picture of the dog and then take a picture of your muddy boots 2 days later? Right? You got to wear those boots, right? So there were things that just didn't make sense. And so I called it. I said, you look at the metadata, this thing is fake. And then 3 months or 4 months later, Penn and Teller had a show on Showtime called BS. And they did a show called Cryptozoology, and it was Penn and Teller who made the video. And they created that whole thing. So I had debunked their video, from minute one.
That's cool.
Didn't work out for a couple of other people. but
that's awesome. Wow. I mean, definitely your previous work in your professional world has definitely helped you out in this field as well. Yep. So stellar.
And there's actually a couple of items that I couldn't figure out, and that's what's on my website. And people will say all the time, like one, I just got one the other day. Oh, what this is a raccoon. This is a picture of a raccoon, and it's got some, and I'm like, see, it's actually looking at the camera, and that's what those white patches. I'm like, you're an idiot. Yeah, and I don't mean to be that way, but I'm just, that's my mind thought. Here's this guy who looks at this thing for 10 minutes and then writes a response on YouTube. Or the guy who says that, the pigeon video is a whip antenna. Like, I didn't ask that question before. Or, obviously, they look at something for a couple of hours, and I've spent on the pigeon video was at least a couple hundred hours frame by frame. On this other investigation, it was a 5-month-long investigation. This guy in a couple under a half hour is going to tell me what it is.
Yeah, right.
And contrary to the scientist, we even brought in we actually brought in Dr. James Maccabee when he was alive, who is an optics scientist. And I said, no, this is not something in front of the camera. This is something on the ground.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah. So that's where there is some interesting stuff up and out, and there's a couple of things that I've seen out there on the web that I find interesting. I don't endorse them because I haven't had a chance to investigate them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And some of them are old, and there's no way I'm just going to be able to investigate the way I want to investigate. So.
Right. Any more pop-ups with people stuffing pigs' intestines in a suit or anything like that?
Not yet.
Yay!
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, some people's kids, what they would do.
That's funny. Yeah, so you have your own website, right? So,
I'm on. I have a website, squatchdetective.com.
Yep.
And we got a lot of things there. We got the Squatch D University there, which has a really decent sound library and some bunch of pretty interesting articles. I got my blog there. I haven't posted in a while. I've been kind of keeping a low track until this whole, debacle that's hit the Bigfoot world comes out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
apparently there's somebody out there that called me a legacy Bigfoot researcher, which means because I've been on TV, and it's all about the money.
Oh gosh.
You know, it's that we are corrupted by money. Like I make my living off of this.
Newsflash, that's not accurate.
There's no money in Bigfoot.
And what did I tell you? Yeah, the only thing I make is some ducats off of my YouTube channel, which is at SquatchDTV. Yep, there it is.
There you go.
And right now we're kind of on our summer hours, so I'm only doing a show on Sundays right now. I may pop in on a live on a Monday or Wednesday, but my co-host is on vacation. I have a backup co-host. My co-host, who's been my co-host since 2010.
Oh wow, Chris! Wow. Yeah.
And we are hitting our 20th anniversary for the
Congratulations,
podcast
man.
this year on September 2006 to 2026.
Wow, I got goosebumps.
And yeah, it's like, oh, well, in the day, I remember we used to have to get on this thing called Blog Talk Radio.
I grew up watching you.
And there would be this lady on there that would go Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah. I remember her.
And then it sounded like you were in a tin can as you did your interviews.
Oh, yeah.
And we couldn't show anything.
A lot of us started out on that, man.
Yeah.
It was what it was for the, what it was.
The first on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I was the first
Very
Bigfoot
cool.
show on Blog Talk Radio. And they actually called me and said, since you've been on, we've got a lot of ghost people and other Bigfoot people. We're thinking about creating a paranormal category. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So what did I start? So I started that whole Blog Talk thing. And then, I was the first really one, came on Blog Talk. Here's me and a co-host talking with a guest every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we were the real first ones to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you
So
are.
it's kind of cool. I watch all those other shows where there's two hosts and they're talking to a guest. No, I started that.
Yes, you did, bro. Yes, you did.
But yeah,
awesome.
20 years this September. Chris has been with me since 2010 as the permanent co-host. So he's been on for 16 years. And for the first time in 16 years, he asked, hey, can I get the summer off? Yeah, no problem. So I got a real cool guy, Brian Wolf from Wolf Rock Radio. He's an on-air. He is basically an internet DJ, and he's also a professional DJ.
Very cool.
And he's a Bigfoot fanatic, and he's a great co-host, and he looks like Santa Claus. In fact, if you look at our Christmas episode, he played Santa Claus for our Christmas episode.
Oh.
And he was totally hysterical. And he, sometimes he was a little bit naughty, but that's okay. And naughty Santa, that's all right.
That's great. That is great.
So we have a fun time at the show. And, sometimes
You got to have
we
fun.
don't always have guests. That's not our thing. We changed that format a couple of years ago because everybody was doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Abe. But everybody was like two hosts with a guest every week. And I just got tired of that format. So let's do some other stuff. We'll do some sciencey stuff, talk about, and look how it hooks up. So sometimes, we may do a show with a guest. Other times we may do a lot. Tonight we're going to do some evidence review, and we'll do because the nice medium of YouTube has changed. And I don't know if you know Blog Talk Radio is out of business now.
Yes, I know. I tried to get my old shows, and I was too late in doing so.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of nice to speak about them affectionately now, but they kind of had it coming to them. Because when they first set, this is my only internet gripe, is when they first set Blog Talk Radio up, it was like, well, this is going to be a partnership. Yes, you provide the quality entertainment, and we provide you the ad revenue. We're going to split that 50-50. Then they started getting ad revenue. And then they realized, well, we're not going to split it 50-50 with you. We're going to give you, how many times people click on things or whatever. Right? So you may get a $20, and of course you had to make $20 before they cut you any payment. So maybe every 2 or 3 months you'd get a check for like $20-$30.
Wow.
Right? But then, after a couple of years, well, now we're going to create these pro plans. You're just on a beginner plan. And if you want to get on the pro plan and actually have a show like you've been having for the last 3 to 4 years, now you're going to have to pay $40 a month to do it.
Yep.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
So now your ad revenue that you're getting from them is now just like a discount of what you're paying.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we started, eventually it got to the point where let's start looking for another medium. There was YouTube, went over there. And amazing to be that this July, third week of July, I think July 19, 2019, we went on YouTube. So we've been on YouTube now 7 years already.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
So it's like that'll be coming up in July, but Chris won't be there for it. He'll be off somewhere in vacation or putting together lawnmowers or something when he does. Because Chris does have another YouTube channel.
Okay.
And Kentucky Fried Fixes, and he does small engine and stuff.
Kentucky Fried Fixins. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's so cool.
So anyway, we have a lot of fun.
Oh, man. That's great.
Awesome. Yeah, so definitely people should go jump on your website, see what's going on over there, and also your YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fun. And like I said, sometimes we get off topic and usually it's about food.
Yeah. Let me ask you, have you done like any classes, online classes where researchers or whoever could be interested could learn?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. I'm doing one now, and it's based on my last book, which is the textbook for this whole thing. And right now the nice, beautiful thing is all the classes I've done under this are in the membership area. So if you become a member, and it's low as 99 cents a month, you get access to all of this. And right now I'm going into class lesson 5 out of, I think there's going to be 8 lessons. So we're lesson 5. So now we're starting to get into the meat. We started getting into the meat on lesson 4. But the first 3 were all building that foundation for this topic right here. Forensic witness interviewing and Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
And it talks about how not to contaminate a witness, how to get the most out of your witness. Because sometimes, like you said, when you think about something, it's a recollection. So you want to bring that recollection out of them by making them use their senses. Ask them the right questions.
Yeah.
And where can people...
I was going to say.
No, ladies first.
Same mind. Great minds.
I was going to say, well, okay, well, then if that's the case, where can people find your book?
Well, they can find it on Amazon.com, and you can also go to SquatchDetective.com. Believe it or not, it says SquatchDetective.weebly.com. You can also go just to SquatchDetective.com. I use a subdomain.
I did try that, and it wouldn't let it go through.
Yeah, you know what? I'm having a little issue with my... it went through now, fine. Sometimes it will do that. It'll time out for whatever reason. It's a bad domain provider. I think I'm going to go back to GoDaddy, but because they used to be Yahoo Small Business, and I used to flip all the time. Who was my domain provider, because they get a deal over here and move it, and they get a deal over here and move it. And then Yahoo Small Business sold to some company, and they are not good.
Oh, wow.
So...
Yeah. So, and your classes, people can find those on YouTube. They become a member
in the members area.
Okay.
Actually, the first class I did publicly, just kind of like a teaser. Everybody can get the first class for free, and that one was based on the importance of forensic interviewing in Bigfoot research. And then from there, the classes moved into the membership area where we start breaking down and teaching people and showing live examples. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been showing, body cam video, police interrogation scenes, stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Trying to show people just some of the body language and some of the things they're learning.
Right.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
And you said that's your second book. Where can people find your other books?
That's my 8th book, Abe.
That's right. Okay, yeah. My bad.
So you can all find it right on Amazon.com. Just search my name, Steve Kulls, or you can go to SquatchDetective.com or SquatchDetective.weebly.com.
Yeah.
And there you'll see a book, the whole selection of books. You just click on that picture. It takes you right to the list of the books.
Excellent.
And we have some in hardcover. We have both hardcover and softcover in most books. So one of those people that likes a hardcover.
Yeah.
They hurt more.
That's right.
Yeah, I gotta give me a copy.
That's right. Somebody, I had a background check done on me, and the investigator had called one of my friends, and this is a true story. He turns around and he's like, is Steve a gambler? No, Steve doesn't gamble. All right. Well, have you ever known Steve to, be involved with any domestic violence? And he turned around and he goes, well, Steve's wife used to hit him all the time, but then he started listening to her. Thanks, buddy. Of course, the investigator fell off their chair laughing. So
that's great, man.
That's perfect. Yes.
And by the way, today is my 4th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations, man!
Anniversary.
Oh, yay!
4 years.
But for you and your wife.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
That's awesome.
You
You learned to listen after 4 years.
For some reason, she was wearing all black today. I don't know why.
As she's polishing the shotgun in the other room.
And my drink kind of tastes like almonds.
Yeah.
That Sprite, it was supposed to be clear. It looked a little brown.
Oh, man.
Thank you very much.
We had such a great time.
Yeah. It was
Well, I was
awesome.
here for you guys. It was an honor to be on your show. It was great to have fun. And, there's nothing like a podcast amongst old friends like me and Abe. And,
Yeah, man.
of course,
New
me and
friends.
Gwen. So this is all good. And we're going forward. We got to have some more fun.
Absolutely, man. No doubt. No doubt.
Love to have you back on again. It was great listening to you break down how to investigate and how to look at video, and it was just really good show. So I thank you so much for coming on. And
Anytime.
I'd like to connect with you after this, and obviously pick your brain some more.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
Yeah. All right. Sounds
Okay.
good. All right. I don't think we're gonna have an outro because obviously the intro got screwed up. So
No, squatch on, everyone.
bye, everyone.